stories for as long as she can remember. The audience is from preschools to nursing homes and everything in between. And folk and fairy tales with a twist are her absolute favorites. So I can't wait to hear what she says. Kirsten Mitchell.
Yes. How is everybody tonight?
Yeah.
Well, seems like we have kind of a theme going on, as you'll see. And just for a little bit of a visual, I brought my mortar and pestle. You'll see how that applies to the story in just a little while. Well, long, long ago, and far, far away in the country of old Mother Russia, where the winters are long and cold, and the days are short, and the nights are longer and colder still, there was a young girl named Vasilisa, and she was so sad because her mother was dying. And her mother said to Vasilisa, "Come, come, I have a gift for you." Vasilisa came, and her mother reached under the coverlet and produced a little doll. And the doll had red boots and a black skirt and a white apron and a vest embroidered with many, many different colored threads, just like Vasilisa herself was wearing. And the mother said, "Take this." Vasilisa took it, put it in your pocket. Keep it with you always. Don't tell anyone about it, even Papa. When it's hungry, feed it. When you need help, ask the doll for help, and the doll will help you. Vasilisa took the doll and she put it in her pocket, and then her mama took a deep, deep breath and let it out and died. Well, Vasilisa and Papa mourned for a long time, but then Papa decided he needed a new wife and Vasilisa needed a new mama. So he decided to go into the big town and find himself a beautiful woman. Well, he went into the big town and he found a beautiful woman. And after lots of questions about how much land he owned and how big his house was, she agreed to marry him. And she and her 2 daughters rode the carriage out to Papa's house by the side of the big, big forest and met Vasilisa. Now, when Papa was around, they were so nice. They smiled politely. They were sweet to Vasilisa. But when Papa was gone, which was a lot, very often, because it seemed like the stepmother always needed something that had to be gotten in the big town. And Papa, of course, would go to get it. And then the stepmother and her 2 daughters were mean to Vasilisa. They made her do all the work. You see the theme we got going on here? They made her do all the work. They made her wait on them hand and foot. And she tried so hard to be nice and to be kind and to please them, just hoping she could make them like her. But it only seemed to make them be worse and worse and like her less and less. Well, one day they had sent her out into the forest for firewood. They were hoping she'd get all scratched up because they were jealous. She was very, very beautiful. Her kindness showed in her face. And even with all their lotions and potions, they couldn't hope to be like she was. Well, the stepmother came up with a plan. I know. We will let the fire go out. You see, we got the theme going. We will let the fire go out, and then we will send Vasilisa into the forest to Baba Yaga's hut and tell her she needs to bring us back a coal so we can have our fire again. And the stepsister said, yes, and Baba Yaga will kill her and eat her, and we'll be rid of her forever, yes. And they danced around the cottage until Vasilisa came back with her load of firewood, and she put it down by the hearth, and she said, what happened? The fire is out. Oh, you're so observant, said the stepmother. Of course the fire is out. We have no fire, we have no heat, we have no light. Someone has to go into the forest to Baba Yaga's hut and get us a coal for fire again so we won't die here in this cold winter. And I can't do it. I'm too old. My daughters can't do it. They're too scared. You've got to do it. Well, Vasilisa wasn't real happy about it, but you know, she was still trying to please the stepmother. Maybe now, maybe if she does this, they'll finally like her and be nice to her. So she starts walking down the path to the deep, dark forest. And when she comes to a fork in the road, she remembers the little doll that she still has in her pocket that she's had all this time. She pulls the doll out and looks at her, and the little doll's dark eyes start to sparkle. And she says, well, which way should I go? And the little doll said in a voice that she didn't hear with her ears, she heard the voice in her heart. Go left. Okay. She put the doll in her pocket and kept on walking, and every time that she came to a fork in the road, she'd ask the doll would say, go left or go right or go straight, and she always did what the doll said. When she got hungry, she stopped and sat beside the road and gave had a little bit of the bread and meat that she had brought and gave some to the doll. Well, after they had walked for a long time, she heard a horse behind her and stepped off the trail just in time to see a white horse with a rider dressed all in white go galloping down in front of her. And as that happened, she saw some light in the sky. Just a little bit later, she heard another horse got off the trail, and a red horse with a rider dressed all in red came galloping by her. And then she saw the sun coming through the branches of the naked trees. Well, she walked all that day, which wasn't all that long because it was midwinter and the days were short. And then she heard another horse, and a black horse with a black rider came down the path and went right through in front of her, and she saw him go into a clearing and right up into a little hut. Well, as she got closer, this eerie orange light illuminated this clearing, and she saw that it was made from skulls sitting on bones that were made of a fence that went all around the clearing, and bright orange light came out of the eyes and the nose and the mouth and the ears and illuminated the clearing and the strange hut that was in it. Now the hut was walking around on yellow chicken legs, and it had windows that looked like eyes and a door that looked like a mouth. And as she got closer, it seemed to be saying, come here. And then she heard bump, swish, bump, swish. And from another path in the forest, riding in a cauldron that was shaped like a mortar and pushing herself along with a pestle and sweeping away her tracks, came Baba Yaga. Now, this mortar flew on its own through the forest, and she guided it, the bump, and then swept, the swish. As soon as she saw Vasilisa in the clearing, she was like, "What are you doing here?" I came to get fire. We don't have any fire, and my people let the fire go out, and now we're gonna die if we don't get fire. Baba Yaga said, "I know you. I know your people. I know why they let the fire go out. And why should I give you fire?" The little doll jumped up and down in her pocket and told her what to say. "Because I ask." That's the right answer. "But I can't just give you fire unless you do some work for me. So I need you to wash my clothes. I need you to clean my house. I need you to cook my dinner. And when that is done, do you see that pile of corn in the yard? Some of it's mildewed, some of it's good. I need you to sort it all out into two piles, the good and the mildewed. When I come back, I expect this all to be done, and if it's not, you will be my dinner." And she licked her lips because Vasilisa looked like she would be such a delicious, tasty morsel, as yummy as you. So she flew away on her cauldron. Thump, swish, thump, swish. Vasilisa had no problem washing the clothes and cleaning the hut and making the meal. I mean, she did all that every day anyway. But when she was done and she looked at the big pile of corn, the doll started jumping up and down in her pocket and said, "You need to rest. Just lie down. I'll take care of the rest." So Vasilisa lied down on the floor of Baba Yaga's hut and immediately fell asleep. The doll jumped up and down and woke her up right before Baba Yaga came back. Thump, swish, thump, swish. The witch walked into the hut and looked around and saw that everything was done. Well, she was pleased and a little bit upset too, because she'd really been looking forward to that yummy dinner. But so her little helpers, hands, appeared out of nowhere and started grinding the corn into cornmeal for her dinner. "I see you've completed all these tasks. That's good. But you still need to do one more day's of work." I forgot to mention, when you picture Baba Yaga, her nose came out like this, and her chin comes up like this, and when she talks, they go like this. So, I want you to wash my clothes, clean my house, cook my dinner, and then, you see that pile of dirt in the yard? It's a big pile of dirt. It's mixed with poppy seeds, little black poppy seeds. And I want you to sort all the poppy seeds out of the dirt. It had best be done before I return, or you will be my dinner. Well, I mean, it was the same thing. She got all the other work done. The dirt pile was still there. And of course, the doll told her to go to sleep. Well, the doll woke her up just as Baba Yaga is coming back. Baba Yaga sees that everything is done. And again, the Yaga doesn't quite know what to do. The hands come out and press the oil out of the poppy seeds and then disappear again. "Is there anything you'd like to ask me, my dear?" Yeah, I do have a few questions, said Vasilisa. Fine, you can ask me anything, but remember, too much knowledge will make you old too soon. Okay, I wonder about the white horse with a white rider. Oh, that is my day. So, what about the red horse with the red rider? Ah, yes. That, of course, is my night. No, it's not. It is my rising sun. So, what about the black horse with the black rider? That, my dear, is my night. And then Vasilisa was going to ask about the mysterious hands, but the doll started jumping up and down in her pocket, and she realized she better not ask anymore. Isn't there something else you'd like to ask me? No, too much knowledge would make me old too soon. You are very wise, beyond your years. How did you come to be so wise? The blessing of my mother. Blessings? Mothers? We will have no blessings of mothers in this house. I will give you the fire, but you must leave right now. And she shooed Vasilisa down the stairs of the hut, grabbed one of the bones with the flaming fiery skull on top and handed it to her. And just as Vasilisa was going to thank her for it, the doll jumped up and down in her pocket and she realized she needed to just get out of there. So she headed off down the path where they had come from, walked again in the dark, holding up the skull so it would light her way. The doll told her which way to turn, and it was just starting to get really dark when she saw her house on the outside of the forest. Well, the stepmother and the stepsisters had tried and tried to light another fire, and they were unable to light a fire no matter what they did. They had thought with Vasilisa being gone for so long that she was probably dead and her bones scattered to the animals, and they were pretty happy about that. But when they saw her coming and realized it was her, they pretended to be glad. Well, Vasilisa came with the fire. I found the fire. I brought it back for you. But the skull looked at that stepmother and those two wicked girls and burned into them. And right before Vasilisa's eyes, there was nothing left but 3 little cinders on the ground. Thank you.
Back to you.